Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I just watched this movie uh, about 2 nights ago, and it is very, very good. Um, I don't even know where to start. It's predominantly about energy, and it's crazy that um, what we've been told and everything. But I'll just give you the long story short. So everybody knows, UFOs and aliens and things like that. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. But here's the interesting part. It's not the fact that they're aliens and all that. It's the fact that the reason why they're so covered up or they're so exploited with dogma and all of that, it's because of the energy. It's all about energy. We all know that money runs the world and energy runs the world. It's all about the Federal Reserve, the central banking system, the military industrial complex, the petrodollar system, the wars in the Middle East to prop up the dollar. You have countries moving away from the dollar. It's all one big giant thing revolving the US dollar, the petrodollar fiat currency central banking system, and energy. Oil, gas, coal, nuclear, solar, wind, it doesn't matter. So basically what this movie is suggesting, right? And I totally believe it, is the reason why UFOs and aliens are so covered up is not because of, they're aliens and all that. It's because if in fact they are real and they have visited us, the biggest question would be, well, how did they get here? Because we are taught in science in school that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. Nothing can travel faster in a linear direction, and that's true to certain extents. So the idea is, if you have an energy device that's capable of anti-gravity mechanics, right? So basically, gravity is one of the strongest forces of the world. And I know, if you believe in the flat Earth thing, I'm not saying it's real or it's fake or whatever. I'm just telling you what this documentary is about. Um, so basically, gravity is a very strong force. So if you have a UFO, a spaceship like right here, and it's capable of anti gravity, right? So basically, you have to have energy to create that, right? So the energy device is so powerful that it can travel through space and through time basically instantly, right? Because gravity is a force. It's like you're having two magnets, opposite sides pushing against each other, but in space at a much bigger scale. If you think of space like a fabric, it could be bent, it could be distorted, it could be manipulated, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say, is that you know if scientists say, well, how did they get here? Well, it's anti-gravity of 0 point free energy. That's the biggest thing in the world that they're trying to cover up. It's not the fact that they're aliens. It's not the fact that they're UFOs. It's the energy part. Because if that energy was ever disclosed, right? If that technology, think about this. Think about a generator the size of a laptop. Okay. Now think about that laptop and think about Bluetooth, right? You know what Bluetooth is. My phone's on and it can communicate to my stereo, which then transmits the audio, right? So think about Bluetooth, but in terms of energy, like a car, for example. Like imagine you have a generator the size of a laptop, and it's Bluetoothing energy to your car. That's what it's all about. It's basically energy, but with Bluetooth. And it's not Bluetooth exactly, but I'm just using that as an example. So, so imagine you have a generator, right, the size of a laptop, and you stick it on your house, and your house is now you can power your car, your house, your business, your factory, your neighborhood, your your donut shop, right? You could power anything. You could power your city, you could power your neighborhood, your state, your country, you could power the whole entire planet. You could power the cargo ships, you could power everything. And basically what that does is it eliminates poverty essentially overnight and hunger, because the biggest problem in the world is poverty and hunger. And the reason why is because of energy, right? So think about all the villages in Africa and India. They don't the reason why they're starving is because they don't have energy to grow crops, to get food, to transport and things like that. And it's because we are living in the petro oil dollar system. And that is why UFOs are so covered up. That's the main reason, in my opinion, and in this movie's, and it's such a great job illustrating it. So, they talk about climate change. I don't know. There's some aspects of climate change that are real, and there's some that are fake for agenda narrative purposes. But the whole idea is, what I'm trying to say is, we live in ancient technology times, right? You have a car, right? It takes gasoline, and they say, well, go electric. Well, that's ancient too. And they say, well, go solar. Well, that's ancient too, right? For your house. You go nuclear. Well, that's ancient too. So, there was one documentary, off topic, but basically, there was like a crash landing of a UFO, some type of story, and the doctor was operating, and they were in military guard, and this is one of the testimonies, not in this movie, but separate case. And basically, it was on the Joe Rogan show, and basically the alien communicated telepathically and said this, and it gave me chills. It says, "You have no idea." He says, "I feel so sorry for you humans. You have no idea of your true capability. You have no idea." But the problem is, the reason why, also too, is these technologies aren't disclosed is because we're still in the nuclear warhead phase, right? Where my missile is bigger than your missile, and we live in tribalism, right? All countries and boundaries and borders, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you have, for example, if China came out with a cure for cancer, you think they're going to tell us? No, they're going to hide it. If they came out with a bigger bomb, do you think they're going to tell us? No, right? It's all about keeping it secret. The main problem with civilization is the secrecy, right? Secrecy will be the downfall of human civilization because everybody needs to keep it secret for their agenda purposes. So think about, here's the main point. The biggest thing is that the reason why these technologies, which are very real, which basically the technology is abstracting energy through space-time. So basically, 1 cubic centimeter of space has enough energy. If you tap into that space, I don't know the scientific term, but if you tap into that, it like kind of like what Nikola Tesla did, but on a different scale. You can power anything in the world, vast amounts of energy. And the reason why it's so secret is because then that would be the end of gas. It would be the end of coal. It would be the end of the combustion engine. It would be the end of solar, wind, nuclear, all forms of energy. Basically would be obsolete overnight. And the reason why they don't want that is because then they can't control you, right? So think about this. You have a meter on your house. This electrical meter. It's constantly spinning. And basically that meter is tallying up how much energy you're using so that they can bill you every single month forever. And they say, well, buy solar and spend $15,000 and have them last 10 years. And no. It's ancient, right? So, and then another thing is like all the electrical lines, all the cords, all the coal plants, all the miners, it's ancient civilizations, right? That's why they call it the lost century. So it gets really deep into that, and it's very fascinating how all of it unfolds. So basically, think about this. If you are the leader of the military-industrial complex and you control ExxonMobil and Shell and all these big oil conglomerates, would you want a better form of energy to come out? Basically, the reason why these technologies are so secret is they're protecting the multi-hundred trillion dollar military-industrial energy complex. That's it. The reason why aliens and UFOs and things like that are so kept secret, and I'm going to show you the video trailer in a second. I'm going to show you the trailer if you want to go watch it. The link is actually to the whole movie is below. I actually had to pay. It actually came out in June. It would cost $3.99, but I actually found the free version. So I highly recommend to watch it before they take it down for copyright or whatever. But Yeah, it's insane how, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to debate anyone if aliens are real or if gravity is real or anything. And what I'm just saying is we have to admit that there are better forms of energy out there that are kept secret. Think about the cure for cancer. They have the cure for cancer, but they don't release the cure for cancer because they don't want to cure you, because then they would lose your business. What they want to do is they want to treat you until the day you die so that they can continue making money. It's all about money. At the end of the day, it's all about money all of the time. It's all about money all of the time. And money is energy, and energy is money. And that's what it's about, money and energy. Whoever controls the world's money controls the world. Whoever controls the world's energy controls everything, right? So there's not enough money in the world to fund the energy requirement for the world's needs, for people to drink water, for people to eat, for people to transport their goods and services, for your iPhone, for your refrigerator, for your TV, for your ceiling fan, for your air conditioning, for everything. Basically, everything requires energy. And, we have a luxury of having energy, but think about all these countries that don't. And then also, we don't even have the luxury either, because at the end of the day, we are using ancient technology. It's ancient technology. So, I highly recommend checking this movie out. And also it talks about how our planet is getting destroyed because we're using oil and gas. And look, I'm conservative. I like Trump. I don't like Joe Biden. I admit that. And, Trump is the oil guy. He wants oil. But I think he really knows what the deal is when it comes to that. They say oil is the lifeblood of our economy, and that is true to a certain extent. So think about that for a second. If they released this technology, right, where everything was powered remotely, infinitely for free forever, then there would be no need for all the energy jobs would be wiped out, right? All the funds that the government, think about how many tax dollars the government makes from energy. That it's insane. It's absolutely nuts. They make trillions and trillions of dollars in tax. Do you think they're going to give that up? Absolutely not. Do you think the president knows about these technologies? No, because even Congress doesn't even know, because they are black, beyond black. So you have black programs, right, that nobody knows about, and they answer to no one. But then you have what's called beyond black. These are called special, unacknowledged. They're unacknowledged. They don't even acknowledge that they exist. They are unacknowledged special access programs. And basically these programs, they do going all the way back 100 years, from the Roswell crash to Area 51 and Area S4 and all these different situations with UFOs and the military and things like that. Basically, trying to back engineer the technology, trying to understand how it works, trying to protect the technology so that nobody can get a hold of it. And at the end of the day, it's not about the aliens, right? It's not about the flying saucer. It's not about, other civilizations. It's about the energy. It's about how this thing can power up. And by the way, the fake alien invasion attack. I know all about that. You probably do, where they're trying to host a fake alien invasion attack so that it's basically us versus them, so that we're come into united front so that they can usher in the new world order and things like that. So that's all fake. I get all that. And you say, well, why would they do that if they don't want us to know about aliens? Well, it's a different topic. It's a different situation, right? They don't care about you knowing that there's aliens and that they're going to come and get you and they're going to fake an attack. What they care about is the energy devices within those machines. They call them UFOs, which is unidentified flying object. But first of all, they're not unidentified. They are identified. They are not unidentified, and they don't fly, right? Flying is wind resistance with an upward drift. It's not flying. It's basically a machine that can travel like instantly all over the planet, unlimitedly, right? So think about that technology in your vehicle, in your car, in a diesel truck, right? So it, and then think about if that technology were to be disclosed, all your energy goods, like if you go to Walmart and you buy groceries or buy whatever, or you go to a grocery store or you go anywhere, a gallon of milk will be so much cheaper because basically you're most of the cost that you're paying for is because of the energy factor. That's what it's for. You're paying for the cost of the energy factor. Um, like if you look at the Titanic, it was ran by what, coal and steam and things like that. Um, and people think, well, it sank because people on that ship knew about the Federal Reserve and they didn't want it to. Who knows? I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, give this documentary a chance. Check it out. Would love to know your thoughts on what you think about it. It's really interesting, and this is by a guy called Doctor. He's a doctor. He was a medical doctor, Dr. Stephen Greer. I like him. I think he's really cool. But this is his third movie. The other movie he made. This by the way isn't about aliens or UFOs. This is just about energy and things like that. His other movie, if you want to watch that, I highly recommend that too. It's called Unacknowledged. Basically, that movie talks more about the UFOs, the account witnesses, and all that stuff. And then another great movie is called The Moment of Contact. That movie was crazy. It's a documentary by James Fox, and he was on the Joe Rogan show describing it. And I gotta go check it out. So basically, it was the Brazilian Roswell. So everybody knows Roswell and that story. Well, this is called the Brazilian Roswell. So basically, it was a downed craft, and there were so many witnesses, and it was a crazy story. And they actually saw the three girls, a driver, a doctor, and a few others actually saw the being, and it was alive, and it was freaky. And they talked and they gave the description and everything. It was I'm not saying it's real, but it's very compelling movie. But basically what I'm trying to say is, we live in a system that doesn't need to be lived in. It's pretty sad. You see all the homelessness, all the hunger, all the drug addicts, all the bad things in life. I mean, just look at us, for example. We're on looking at charts every day because we need to make money to survive for our families, right? We're basically, it's a dog eat dog world. It's every man for himself at the end of the day, right? So we all try to, we're everybody's in a community, have family and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's every man for himself, and it's kind of a sick thing if you think about it. We're all thriving to become rich and successful so we don't have to deal with the dreads of society, of all the problems that we live in, right? We want a nice house, we want no mortgage, we want no electricity. Now think about that. Think about having a beautiful new house, no electricity bill, no gas bill, right? No, you'd have to have a water bill because water is water, right? You got to have water, but you have no mortgage, no nothing. You could be a multimillionaire today, and you would still have to spend a lot of money on energy. So we don't have to live this way. We don't have to live this way, and that's the problem, right? They have the cure for cancer. They have the cure for energy. They don't want you to know about it because it will end their entire enslavement puppet game, right? People go, oh, Trump and Joe Biden. Has nothing to do with the president. This is a billion times deeper and more sinister than anything we can ever imagine. All the political topics like the border crisis and the Middle East wars and the COVID and this and this and that and all these little topics, they mean absolutely nothing compared to this topic. And all problems on planet Earth can be solved. Every single problem can be solved if they would just disclose the cures for cancer, the cures for disease, and the cure for energy, right? All humans need is energy. We don't even need money at the end of the day. Although money is just basically what money is a gauge. Think about when you're driving in a car, you look at your gauge, you're going 60 miles an hour. It's just a gauge to gauge what you have as a ledger. It basically a money system is a ledger system to determine values, right? So everybody wants more value, and we're all striving to get more value. But if you had unlimited energy, you can grow your own food, and you wouldn't have to pay anything, right? You could do anything you want, basically. And that's another reason why we can't have this technology, because we would kill each other. Think about it. If we have technology that could end the fossil fuel system, then that technology could also be used for evil. And that's another topic, right? They don't want this technology to come out into the open, and the reason why is because another reason is they'll lose their entire power structure, right? If I can't control how much oil comes out of the ground and how much people are using, right, then I can't control you. But if you have unlimited energy, then I can't control you. And then also, if you have and I'm thinking of it like a generator, right? Think about a generator the size of a laptop, and you stick that laptop on the side of your house, and that will power your house forever for free. They don't want that, because then they can't control what you're using. And then also, the technology in that generator can be used for a bomb or a nuke, or who the hell knows, right? So there are many different elements to this topic. I think it's completely fascinating. Crypto and money aside, I think energy is the biggest thing on planet Earth, because look at gasoline prices, look at everything going up in value. We don't have to live like this, yet we continue to do that every day. And by the way, this movie talks about so many different inventions and different types of people who created, like, the hydrogen car and all these different forms of energy. People create these different types of generators, these different devices, and what happens? They go to patent it, and when they patent it, they seize the patent, they shut it down, and they take all their equipment, and they say, if you talk, you're dead. And that's what happens all the time. So this movie also tells people, if you're an inventor, you need to make this open source. You need to have it decentralized. You need to get it out into the public's hands before they take it away. And that's what it's all about. So who knows? Maybe in 15 years, we will live in a different world filled with different things. Think about like the roads, right? Think about the highway system in the United States. There are millions and millions of miles of highways, right, all around the United States, and there's cracks and potholes, and it costs a lot to fix. It's a web of highways, and they get all messed up, right, from cars and things like that. And I'm not saying we should not have cars, but different forms of transportation. If you have an energy system capable of anything, you can have a different means of transportation. The way you basically live will be changed forever. So go check it out. The link in the description below, the whole full movie, or if you want, just go to YouTube, type it in. You can watch the trailer there. And by the way, he has 3 movies. This is the 3rd movie. The second one was called Unacknowledged, which is really good. And the first one was called Sirius, which is a little different. It's about aliens and things like that, UFOs, encounterments, right? So, yeah, if we can reclaim the technology that should be for everybody, but they hide it, that's what it's all about. If you look at Roswell, New Mexico, if you look at a UFO, you have two F-16s that chase it away, right? A lot of the times, that is our UFO. We are manning the ship, right? A lot of these UFOs that you see are built by us. Like you could see right here, USA, top secret, right? A lot of these UFOs are man-built from back in the day. A good one was Bob Lazar back in Area S4. His account was he worked there near Area 51 to help back engineer a disc, a flying saucer, and basically talked about how it worked and things like that. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's fake. I just think it's interesting. But what I do know is real is there has to be better forms of energy. I mean, come on. Oil and gas, it's solar and everything else. There has to be something better. And that is what it's all about. So definitely check it out. Tell me what you think. Because at the end of the day, this has to happen for human civilization because, the sun isn't going to be lit up forever. Eventually, human civilization is going to have to venture out into space and find a new planet to occupy, right? So you have to think that could work the other way around too, right? So if these star systems, the stars don't last forever, the sun, right? Eventually it goes out and then your planet is done. So you need to figure out how to manage that situation. And I know the ET's already figured it out, obviously, right? I know Dr. Michio Kaku said there's different types of civilization. There's a type 3 civilization, which is super advanced. The most advanced, which controls basically a lot, everything. The second civilization, and then the first, controls the sun and how it works and things. But we are type 0. We don't control anything. We don't control. Basically, we're on a rock flying through space, and anything can happen to us. So that's a topic for a different discussion. But basically, what I'm trying to emphasize is watch the movie, think about energy, think about how life can be different with free energy. And they call it free energy. That's because it's free. It's 0 point energy, no emissions, no exhaust, no smog, no killing the planet, no ozone, no crap. It's free energy, unlimited energy. And I think that is one of the best things mankind can transition from. I know we're going to transition the financial system. Hopefully it's a better system. But we need to transition into an energy system, a better system. So it's going to be the next 100 years is probably going to be the most crazy, most unbelievable time in human history combined with everything. Because we've been living in the Stone Ages. We're still living in the Stone Ages. Ever since the internet came out, we barely scratched the surface of a minor, tiny glimpse of what life can be like. So yeah, this documentary is very compelling. Hopefully everything I said makes sense. Not saying it's real, not saying it's fake, just a topic of conversation. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody has their theories of what it is and what it isn't. My theory is you just heard it, so go check it out.